Level 80. Enter the Viper. Assisting this Weaver could be the beginning of a whole new adventure. You're an adventurer, yes. There's a spot of bother over at the Weavers Guild, and we could use a hand sorting it out. We received an order for a full ensemble, but now that the work's been completed, the client refuses to pay. Mind you, I had my suspicions from the start. He calls himself a Viper of all things. My experience, people who name themselves after snakes are not to be trusted. In any case, he carries a pair of swords on his back, and I hate to think what would happen if he started wielding them in anger. Could you head to the guild and smooth things over? Good evening to you, stranger. I was hoping I might make the acquaintance of someone a bit rougher around the edges, someone who's seen her fair share of action. Could you tell me what prey's worth hunting in these here parts? Have you any idea what he's talking about? I took no issue with fulfilling his order, but now that it's time for him to pay, it's as though we're talking at cross purposes. Likewise, I don't understand why this fellow's being so difficult. All I'm asking for is the outfit I ordered in the name of some critters worth killing. Maybe I ought to explain from the beginning. I'm from Tyrol, a big old continent on the other side of the salt west of here. You've been there, I reckon? Then you might have seen others who wield the dual blades, or vipers as we're traditionally known. Our duty is to hunt ferocious beasts that endanger the lives of innocent folk. In fact, that's what brought me here. Thing is, all the fighting and long days on the road ain't been too kind to my gear. Reckoned it was high time I got me new get-up, bespoke and all. Fascinating, I'm sure, but why do you refuse to pay for your order, and why are you so insistent that I choose my prey? How else am I supposed to pay you? Do us a favor and we'll hunt down any beast you want. That's the code, how we Vipers do business. It appears the Weavers Guild doesn't need any fiends felled. Weavers prefer more conventional forms of compensation. That's so you're saying they want something else instead. Payment commensurate with the skill and materials required, in guild preferably. Well, didn't see that one coming. Guess that explains our little misunderstanding. But surely your countrymen trade in some sort of currency, yes? Or are you Vipers so far removed from society as to be unaware of such concepts? Of course we know what money is. We ain't no bumpkins, but when it comes to requisitioning goods and services, I usually rely on the elders to deal with artisans and the like, which is to say I ain't in the habit of carrying significant sums. So be it. If your only form of payment is the slaying of beasts, that shall have to do. As it happens, one of my colleagues in Eastern Thanalan reports that merchants carrying our supplies were attacked by a wild fiend. What's more, the creature is a species of many-headed scalekin never before seen in this region. It is rumored to have escaped from the Colosseum and has been running rampant ever since. Scaly? Lot of heads? Alright, you got yourself a deal. Deal? Considering the guild has already fulfilled its end of the bargain, you should count yourself lucky. Still, I'd hate for anything to go awry at this juncture. I'd ask a favor of you, friend. I'd like you to accompany him and ensure that he attends to the creature as agreed. Besides, I dare say seeing a so-called Viper at work will be an enlightening experience. Name's Keshqua. Pleasure to meet you. The creature was last seen near Camp Drybone, so I advise you begin there. So this is Camp Drybone, huh? Fitting name. Anyway, you ready to hunt? What's that look for? Ah, let me guess. You want to ask around first and see if anyone can point us in the right direction. No need. The Weaver's friend told me plenty. All we got to do is track down the beast, which is a Viper specialty. How would you miss that? I went after traders carrying tailors' materials. Bolts of cloth and whatnot don't sound none too tasty to me, so I'm guessing it's the merchants themselves the beast had its eye on. Most predators use their sense of smell to pick out their meals. Scents carry on the wind, so you gotta consider the positions of the rocks and plants to determine how the air tends to flow through an area. Ain't too hard to deduce where a critter's made its lair after you've done all that. Yep, that's a big and mean looking too. Must be wreaking havoc on the food chain. Never mind the danger it poses to locals. Well, time to do what a viper does best. That's that. So, you like the show? Don't play coy. I can see you're intrigued. But before I spill all my secrets, I got a question for you. Ever heard of a Turo Vidral? Thought not. Well, they're a rare breed of beast that wields all kinds of powers they got no right having. A threat to every other living thing that has the temerity to breathe in their vicinity. Because of their long lifespans and unnatural abilities, they were dubbed the Tyrants of Tyrol. That's more or less what the name means. Anyway, someone's got to hunt the Tyrol Vidral, and that someone is us, the Vipers. You know, I met a fair few adventurers during my time here, but I can tell you're a cut above the rest. Might even have what it takes to be a Viper. If you're interested, I can teach you on one condition. You'll help me hunt down a Tyrol Vidral that's made its way to Eorzea. What do you say? Huh. Hell of a thing to ask out of the blue, I know. Just think on it some, will you? Let's head back to Ul'dah and tell the Weaver fellow we're square. The journey will give you time to consider my offer. The Weavers. I just gave our Weaver friend the good news, and he handed over this set of fancy duds as promised. Gotta say, it was worth the trouble. About my offer, you ready to become a Viper and protect folks from the nastiest beasts that ever lived? You wish to become a Viper, yes. A mighty fine answer. I'll make a Viper of you, just see if I don't. First order of business, let me give you this here soul crystal. It contains knowledge of our fighting arts passed down since ancient times from one generation of Vipers to the next. Assuming you've got the knack for it, our skills can be yours too. I've also got a fresh set of Viper gear for you. The Weavers Guild wanted to thank you for overseeing our hunt earlier, so they made you your very own outfit. Guess that fella took your measurements by eye or something. Oh, and the blades are a couple of spares I had handy. Try it all on for size, and let me get a look at you while you're at it. Level 80, enter the Viper, complete. Viper unlocked. Okay, let's try on our outfit. Got all these people. All right. Okay, now we just need to go level up. Level 80, Fangs of the Viper. Keshqua wonders if you have what it takes to master the art of the Viper. Well, you sure look the part, but do you feel anything from the soul crystal? I knew it. Sounds like you got what it takes to be a Viper, but the only way to know for sure is to put them new skills to the test. For that, we'll need prey. From what I hear, you adventurers have got your own guild, so I'm guessing the folks there will know the best spots for hunting. Let's go see what they can tell us. All right. Knowledgeable adventurer. If you're after deadly predators, try Spineless Basin. Lately, there have been sightings of heretofore unknown species, those that slaughter anything that moves, including travelers. It's worse, they work in packs. Even the adventurers hired to call them ended up meeting a sticky end. You got a lead already? Maybe there's something to this whole asking around thing after all. Critters not from around these parts, you say? Either they got chased out of their usual habitat or they were brung here. Either way, that's bad news for folks unfortunate enough to cross paths with them. Hunting of Tural Vidral is Viper's most important duty, but that doesn't mean we turn a blind eye to lesser threats. Next stop, Spineless Basin. Oh, it's like right there. Mountain Zoo. Plays a bit like Monk. These here adventurers ran into a whole gaggle of the fiends where after they got pretty roughed up, but I saw to their wounds already, don't you worry. Before we go say hello to the troublemakers, I reckon I ought to teach you about the Viper's dual blades. Our techniques were created for the sole purpose of killing Tural Vidral. Most of them are meaner varieties of things you might encounter in the wild, often with special powers to boot. Stand a chance against these powerful enemies, our ancestors looked to Vipers for inspiration, always twisting and turning to find the perfect angle of attack to take down bigger prey. Two blades for the twin fangs of a Viper to wield in tandem and strike with precision. They can also be combined into a single weapon that weaves and sways like the body of a snake. By switching between these stances, the Viper has the capacity to adapt to any situation. Now, the prey we're after tonight ain't nowhere near as fearsome as Tural Vidral, but they'll give you a chance to test out your new skills. Let me know when you're ready. You've learned all Viper actions and traits to level 80. Detailed descriptions can be viewed in the Actions and Traits window, accessed under Character in the main menu. Beasts we're chasing supposedly work in packs. My gut tells me there's a whole bunch of them over by that big old tree. Duty calls. Commence battle for Fangs of the Viper. Level sync is in effect. If you're above the maximum allowed level, will be synced as follows. Level 80, item level 525. Proceed. Yeah. Yeah, it's way less complicated than it looks. If there are any meaner beasts, they must be biding their time. All I see here is fodder. Though for practicing your new skills, they'll do just fine. I'll stay out of your way and give you a few pointers. Let me go already. Let me know when you're ready. No. Guess we have to talk to him. Let's start with the basics. There are two stances, Dual Fang and Viper. Dual Fang means wielding your two blades separately. Start by using either Steel Fangs or Dread Fangs, then press the attack. Finish the sequence, switch back to Viper, and hit him with Death Rattle. After using Dual Fang weapon skills, Steel Fangs or Dread Fangs, their icons will automatically change to the next action in the combo. By performing a second, then a third attack in the combo, you will gain access to the Viper Stance action Death Rattle. If you have Serpent's Tail assigned to your hotbar, the icon will automatically change to Death Rattle when it becomes available. Okay. I was using the AoE version. Come on over here and I'll tell you about attacking from dual fang stance. Time to practice your dual fang techniques. Start with an opener followed by the second, then pick one of the 4 finishers. Flank Sting Strike, Flanks Bane Fang, Heinz Sting Strike, Heinz Bane Fang. As you can tell by the names, each finisher works best from a certain position, but don't worry about that for now, just give them all a try. 4 combo enders are Flank Sting Strike, Flanks Bane Fang. Okay, yeah. Alright, so the deal is with Viper is that, so like these two are essentially the same. This is the AoE, and this is your single target, and they're your opener because they put your dot on. And then you want to maintain your dot, and then this is just your second option, but they're both the same. They're both about the same. So as far as your positionals, red is rear and green is flank. Using a combo ender applies the bonus effect to others. Okay, that's been. We were under attack. We didn't get to finish it. Yeah, it'll let you choose between like one or the other, and then it'll switch to the next one, like automatically. So it's actually pretty easy as long as you get your opener right. Oh, I gotta kill them all. It roared just now, almost like it was telling him to clear out. Reckon there's a big old bastard waiting in the wings, and now it's sent us tougher opposition. Lucky for you, I got just the thing for dealing with lummoxes like them. I'll tell you about it when you're ready. Alright, now for Viper Stance, where you combine your 2 blades into one to deliver powerful strikes. Perfect for tough opponents. Open with Dreadwinder, then transition with either Twin Fang Bite or Twin Blood Bite from Dual Fang Stance. Viper Stance weapon skill Dreadwinder can be followed by Hunter's Coil or Swift Skin's Coil. Either of these secondary attacks allows the use of Dual Fang Stance weapon skills Twin Fang Bite, Twin Blood Bite. Yeah. I don't remember which one's which. Dreadwinder. I already completed it. Alright, you got the hang of it. I just have to kill him now. Yeah, they run, something bigger coming. That Roarin's getting closer. Boss Beast must be pissed that its minions keep getting beat. Yeah, there it is. Time to take it down a peg or 3. Just remember what you're dealing with here. It ain't no pushover like the rest. So you got all the tools you need at your disposal. Show it what a Viper can do. Yeah, you see, like, there's no need for the positionals here because he's got the round circle. But you see how it changes to red at the... That means it's a hind or rear. And it'll change to flank on the next go round. And the green is the flank. So, simple enough. Like the boss in Delubrum. You're gonna do a roar. Unrelenting attacks are the key. Don't give your prey a chance to fight back. Duty complete. Not bad, not bad at all. Those were just the basics, but your execution was mighty impressive. Since you've proven you won't be a liability, let me tell you about the Tural Vidral we're up against. We call it Ixok Ixmayun. I cannot pronounce that. It's an offshoot of the Brax, a deadly jungle predator. After a series of mutations, this one's grown huge wings. Worse yet, it's smart as a whip and has a mean streak to a mom wide. After learning of the beast, me and my most promising student set off to slay it. Facing it head on seemed like suicide, so we laid an ambush. Almost worked, too, almost. We thought we had it subdued and made our approach to deliver the killing blow, but we'd underestimated the fiend's cunning nature. When we got close, it lashed out, lightning quick, before taking to the skies. I cradled my brother in arms as he breathed his last. Revenge is all I've been able to think about ever since. I traveled the length and breadth of Tural looking for that beast with nothing to show for it but a half-dozen pairs of ruined boots. With each passing day, I grew more and more desperate. That wasn't until I met some folks who'd crossed the salt on a trade ship from Mulda. They claimed they'd seen a huge winged creature flying eastwards over the ocean. Knowing how clever Ixok Moon is, I reckon I'd go in search of a new hunting ground, somewhere without an established threat like us Vipers, so I bought passage on a ship and here I am. Little did I know Eorzea was damn near as big as Tural. I'm a fish out of water and I'm not afraid to admit it, or that I'm gonna need all the help I can get. That's where you come in. With you on my side, I might just stand a chance of avenging my fallen comrade. What do you say? Thanks, that means a lot. Let's get back to Ul'dah and see if we can't find some clues as to Ixok's whereabouts. Yeah, well, like I said, it plays like Monk, where you put your dot on, and then you do that combo, and then you switch to the other combo until your dot's about to drop, and then you switch back to this combo. And it's the same here, so like you open with your dot, and then you switch to the other one, which is slightly stronger. Then you switch back. At least at the lower levels. I don't know what it's going to be like at level 100. We haven't hit that yet. But it's... because like in Monk, you go from like one rotation to the next rotation, just make sure your dot stays on. So it's basically like that. No, I think they've changed Monk a bit since the release. I haven't played it yet. As you saw at the Weaver's Guild, chatting up folks ain't my strong suit. If you're happy to take the lead, I'm happy to follow, at least for now. Think you could ask the locals if they've spotted any strange creatures flying around? As for me, I'll study your technique, see if I can't brush up my social graces and whatnot. Keshqua is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Keshqua behind by entering a different area or by speaking with him and selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Keshqua accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While you're accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way, which offer additional topics of discussion. You enjoy the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. I don't see any of those. A flying beast? Why yes, of late we've had sightings of such a creature more and more each day. We're looking into it ourselves, but there have been no reported attacks, nor can I provide more detailed description. As such, I can't say if it's the same one you're after. There we go. Discuss the hunt. Yeah, when I was on the ship here, I heard about this hunt your local companies seem to be running. We got a system like that back in Tyrol, too, mainly for dealing with the Tyrol withdrawal. Actually, the bulk of the work was handled by Vipers, but ever since the Dawn Servant came to power, the scope's been expanded to cover a wider range of threats. These days, pretty much anyone can take on jobs, and there's no shortage of them all over. If you're ever in Tyrol, maybe you ought to give it a try. We'll make our way there, eventually. Just the crowds of Ul'dah. A whole lot of people here. We got cities of our own back in Tyrol, but this is something else. You know, to become a Viper, traditionally, you've got to live in this remote village in the mountains where you learn all you can about the habits of various beasts. Ain't much else to do out there, so anytime you get to yourself, you're expected to spend honing your skills. Once training's done, you're free to roam where you please. There ain't many Tyrol Vidral that need hunting, but they can spring up pretty much anywhere in Tyrol, so many say it's good to keep on the move. Me, though, I chose to stick around even after I finished my training. Gave me a chance to work on my swordsmanship, and instead of going out looking for work, folks came straight to us asking for help. That's how I got complacent and fell into the habit of letting my elders and students do all the talking and negotiating with outsiders. Even my passage here was arranged by an acquaintance. Nice to know you have a friend, at least. Or an acquaintance. What? A winged creature? Oh, well, I've only heard the rumors. They say it has a dozen faces ringed with red, wriggling tentacles, and it shoots beams of light from its eyes. Of course, it's all too common for those with more money than sense to bring in bizarre species from distant lands, and the trouble with rumors is that they grow ever more fanciful with each retelling. Well, damned if I know how you did it, but you and your silver tongue got useful information out of folks. Even if none of it amounted to a solid lead, the knowledge that Ixok hasn't kicked up a proper fuss yet is a clue all in itself. I reckon it's taking its time to get the lie of the land, having only just arrived here. Alright, now I've seen a master at work, I'm going to try my hand at talking to the locals. Now, don't get ahead of yourself. The best way is to learn by doing. Couldn't agree more. Besides, I've faced meaner foes than a few tight-lipped city folk, and if I make a fool of myself, so what? I'll just ask someone else. It just so happens I brought with me a whole bunch of herbs and knickknacks from back home I can sell to keep myself fed. It might take a while to find any solid leads, but at least I can get by for the time being. So those are the ones who slew my pets, interlopers on the hunt for my next darling prize. Little do they know its lost interest in Thandel, and just as well its fickle nature may yet bring us greater delights. Dun dun dun. I'll be doing my damnedest to get more information. Might take a while though, so come see me later, and don't forget to practice your Viper techniques. Level 80, Fangs of the Viper, complete. Level 83, Viper and Vidral Shadow. Having conquered his fear of questioning the locals, Keshqua is ready to do something else. Good to see you. After a lot of asking around, I dug up some new leads in Ixok, or at least I think I did. Wasn't easy though. At first, the only stories of interest were about Gridanian poachers dealing with in so-called exotic meats, juveniles in other words. Too young and too dead to be what we're after. That detour notwithstanding, there were a few other tidbits that might be useful. I got my own thoughts on the matter, but I want to hear yours too. That all right? Much obliged. So I hear an adventurer came across a whole bunch of strikingly beautiful red feathers just outside of town. Ended up giving them to some kids who've been playing with them ever since. More to the point, there was talk of a huge beast with glowing blue eyes flying off towards a place called the Black Shroud. Red feathers, blue eyes, put the two together and it sounds an awful lot like Ixok. Seems like it's had enough of Thanolin and picked the Shroud as its new stamping ground, but what's your take on it all? It's a promising lead. We'd be fools not to look into it. I knew you'd agree after the amount of mystery meat I had to sample just to squeeze information out of those butchers at the market. I'm glad it all paid off. As for our next move, I reckon we ought to take an airship to Gridania. From what I hear, a fellow by the name of Gavin over at the Adder's Nest should be able to tell us more. I'll meet you there. The Adder's Nest. How might I help? I'm after a Tyrol Vidra. I'm searching for this dangerous creature that's come over from another continent. I see. As it happens, I'm aware of a beast that matches the description of this Ixok. Our scout spoke of its blue eyes and red wings, and of its aggressive nature leading it to attack any who dare approach. It really is here in the Shroud, and up to no good already. Thankfully, there have been no deaths so far, but it's only a matter of time before merchant or adventurer becomes the first. I believe Ixok came here in search of new territory. Thanolin wasn't to its liking, and now it's testing out the Shroud. It appears so. I'll tell the other adders that you're pursuing the beasts and to lend what assistance they can. I assume that's all right with you. Yes, sir. The more the merrier. Slaying the bastards what matters, and I ain't too proud to accept help when it's offered. So where was it last seen? In the South Shroud. Once you get there, head for Quarry Mill and look for Lieutenant Goliath. He's leading the search. The Quarry Mill. You must be Keshqua and Zilly. The Adder's Nest sent word to expect you both. I'm Goliath, the officer in charge of this operation. This is Innocent Stork, who's provided us with vital information. A merchant and her employee spotted the beast on its way back from Ul'dah. He's also taken the liberty of assembling a team of experts to assist in tracking the target. At no small expense, I might add, but compared to the losses my business would suffer with the creature allowed to roam free, I deemed it a worthy investment. As our goals are aligned, perhaps you wish to join my experts in the field. If so, you'll find them near Roots Lake. I'm sure you'll get along swimmingly. Oh, you're the lady from the cutscene. Obviously planning something. Looks like we're late to the party. Let's go hear what they have to say. If I'd have known it was this far, I would have just teleported here. Stuck. Fresh meat for the hunt, eh? Order came down to let you tag along, but don't get underfoot. We're looking for signs of the creature so our naturalists can predict its movements. We'll then lay traps where it's expected to appear. Have themselves a proper plan, don't they? Seeing as they're being so accommodating, we may as well join in the search. tongue appears to be that of an enormous beast. Judging by its dry appearance and muted odor, it was excreted some time ago. Kind of activity. The tongue exudes a foul odor. The lingering warmth indicates it was recently deposited. Dang, shit's a lot, huh? These creatures bear the marks of enormous claws on their hindquarters, suggesting they were struck down as they attempted to flee. That's so loud. Found me a few signs of activity. How about you? Corpses of grazing animals gouged by monstrous claws. Same here. The size and depth of the wounds are consistent with how Ixok hunts. And just like back in Tyrol, it's killing not just to eat, but also to mark its territory, to show anyone and everyone who's boss. There you are. Managed to sniff anything out? Yes, sir. Aside from a couple of dung hills, we got some dead wildlife, most likely the work of Ixok. Reckon it's close, somewhere north of the swamp. We came to the same conclusion. This predator makes no attempt to cover its tracks. Clearly it has survived so long by virtue of its immense proportions and in spite of its diminished intelligence. You got it all wrong. It left those tracks on purpose to see how we'd react. You saying the beast is testing us? That's absurd. The level of foresight and cunning required to even attempt to do so is far beyond these lesser beings. As for the corpses it left behind, those animals must not have been to its taste. Suggest using fresh cuts of prime livestock as bait. Bloodier the better. Once the creature has been enticed, surrounding and subduing it is but a formality. Hate to break it to you, but Ixok's way too clever to fall for that. You're going to need every trick in the book, and then some. Rest assured, I've considered every eventuality, and even if there was merit to your advice, I will not let it be said that our success was the product of anyone's genius but mine and mine alone. What difference does it make who came up with what? Monetary difference. Innocent Stork offers better rewards based on performance. Alright, don't even think about trying to steal our thunder. We're the ones who will bring her Ixok, whatever its name is, to not you. Listen, we're trained to fight large predators like these. If you got any sense, you'll let us take the lead. Put our lives in the hands of complete strangers? I think not. There's no place in our strategy for you, so stand aside and await further instructions. Fine, have it your way. If you're half the hunters you think you are, Ixok is as good as dead, right? Come on, let's leave him to it. Nothing good ever came from working with people you can't trust. Even I know that. And it's decided. You two will wait at the southern end of the lower paths. Be ready to give chase in case the beast escapes us. Not that it will. Waiting. Awful quiet, don't you think? Ah. Hear that? Must be one of the hunting party. It came from the north. Let's move. Do the do. Hmm. Guess we get his cut now. No, it hurts, but please tell us what happened. It was watching us. We kind of said that. That fresh lamb should draw the target out of hiding, though if I lace it with the toxin I've brought, success is practically guaranteed. Toxin, we were explicitly told not to kill the beast, in case you'd forgotten. Of course not, it can be used as a sedative, highly potent, but only lethal if applied in excess. If you like the stomach for it, I'll do it myself. Naturally, my personal contributions will be detailed in the final report to ensure credit is given where due. What the hells are you playing at? If it catches wind, the plan's ruined. Didn't we go after them? No, it'd only make things worse. If that bookworm wants to stick his neck out for a few gil more, I'd say let him. What? No, no, ah! Aw. The one. Gods have mercy, there it is. Stay calm, nothing's changed except the bait. Now's our chance. Yeah, also from Delubrum. Ah! They were screaming. I ran, but I could still hear. You were right. It knew. It knew. Dun, dun, dun. Came from behind. Keshqua, Zilly, Brother 12, what happened here? The hunters became the hunted. I shall see that their remains are recovered and the necessary rites performed. Perhaps you'd be so kind as to return to Quarry Mill and share these unfortunate tidings with innocent Stork. Methinks innocent Stork not so innocent. Just a hunch. I'd anticipated casualties, but it was a massacre. Ixog's grown bolder. Before it only hunted animals, lone travelers, prey it knew it could handle with ease. Past brushes with death taught it to be cautious. That's probably why it fled Tyrol in the first place, too, but it just outwitted a group of armed hunters. Instead of running away from trouble, the beast went looking for it. This was sport, a game. It was having fun, and now that it's had a taste, it's only gonna want more. My poor judgment invited this tragedy. I must make amends. Please allow me to assist you in pursuing this creature. Even without a team of experts at my disposal, I believe my network of contacts will prove useful in gathering vital information. Keep the freelancers out of it and leave the hunting to us. We'd be grateful for information, but we'll take care of the rest. Understood. I place my faith in your abilities as Vipers. Appreciate it, ma'am. If you turn up any leads, be sure to let us know. I best return to the Adder's Nest and deliver my report. It's imperative we inform the populace of the threat posed by Ixok. Might I ask you to use Quarry Mill as your temporary base of operations? Knowing where to find you will make it easier to coordinate our efforts. Suits me fine. Besides, I got plenty to do here, like learn about this neck of the woods and the critters and whatnot. But while I have you, there's one thing I want to ask. How'd the twin adders get their name? Oh, snakes. Beg your pardon, what does that have to do with the Ixok? Nothing really, it's just that us Vipers based our fighting arts on snakes, so they're near and dear to our hearts. Might even say we've got a reverence for them. Is that so? I suppose we also feel a kinship towards snakes. The name Twin Adders comes from the pair of white snakes on the Gridanian standard, though that imagery predates the city-state's founding. There's more I could tell you, though I fear other matters must take precedence. With a history as long as that, we'd be here talking till the Pakas come home. I'd love to hear more about it, but I understand it'll have to wait. I best get to learning what I can about Ixok. While I see to that, maybe you ought to squeeze in some more training. Level 83, Viper Individual Shadow, complete. Level 85, Vipers on the Hunt. Keshqua has grave tidings to share. I had a bad feeling when I woke up this morning, and sure enough, Ixok has struck again. Goliath and Innocent Stork are trying to narrow down where it'll appear next based on the reports, but so far they've come up empty. Here Goliath is over at Fallgood Float talking to witnesses. Let's go see what he's learned. What the hell? Oh. North Shroud. Thank you for coming. I expect Keshqua has shared some of the details, but it's even worse than we thought. Ixok grows increasingly bold with deadly consequences. For a blessing, the people here remain calm, though we must act quickly to avoid widespread panic. The Adders have called upon anyone with information to share an asset they gather here. We requested that any detail be reported, no matter how small. We find ourselves somewhat inundated. I'm certain, however, that among the accounts are clues vital to locating our quarry. We can help with that. All we got to do is ask folks around here what they've seen, right? Ah, yes, that would be most helpful. Perhaps you could start near the Aetheryte while Zillia asks those over by the Bobbing Cork. I was passing through the North Shroud when I saw a frightful creature with immense red wings. It was a little too far away to see clearly, but it seemed to be battling a group of smaller beasts, which it promptly slaughtered before flying away. That's helpful. Or is it behind the building? I saw it flying over the central shroud. With each flap of its massive wings came a powerful wind, bearing the scent of blood, so noxious and suffocating it was all I could do not to vomit where it stood. Where I stood, okay. Where the hell's the other one? I walk right past it? Oh, I did. Okay. While passing through, I heard that some fiend was on the rampage over in the East Shroud. Didn't think much of it at first, but when I saw all the people coming from that direction and looks on their faces, I decided to stay put. Good thing I did too, or I might have died. Everyone's got a story to share, but nothing that seems to point to where Ixok might strike next. You do any better? Northeast and Central Shroud. Now the folks I asked said it was in the south. I tell you, it must be trying to make the whole damn forest its territory. Hold on now, one of the guys I talked to was in the East Shroud. Your witness heard the beast was on the rampage, but mine said he never saw Ixok, even though they should have been there at the same time. That's worth looking into, don't you think? You might be onto something there. It doesn't feel like much, but it's our only lead. I'm not saying this is the answer, but you never know what trail will take you until you follow it. We ought to go chat up that fella again. I'll take you to him. Oh, like right here. We're gonna go somewhere. As I said before, I was traversing the East Shroud on an errand when I heard what sounded like the flapping of enormous wings. A moment later, I saw a wounded animal charging through the brush. It was then I recalled the rumors of a monstrosity on the loose, realized I was in danger, and ran. So the critter was hurt, but still able to make an escape, but the only way it could have gotten away from Ixok is if the bastard chose to let it go. Meanwhile, our friend here was close enough to hear the wings flapping, yet lived to tell the tale. An adventurer traveling alone wouldn't have been easy pickings, so why'd Ixok spare him? He did something that no other adventurer had done before. He was carrying something that no other adventurer had. What I had on me were some bottled potions and ethers, but there was one other thing. I carry a potpourri filled with Giribanian wildgrass, an Alamegan custom, in case you're unaware. That's got to be it. Goliath will want to hear about this. Could you wait here a moment? Keshko has asked me to verify a theory of his. I shan't be long. Exactly as you'd surmised. Most of those who've seen Ixok and lived to tell the tale are Alamegan adventurers. I knew it. It's got to be that fragrance. A lot of animals have a powerful sense of smell, and Ixok's no exception. What makes it that much more sensitive to odors that it doesn't care for. I reckon the beast can't stand the wild grass in those potpourris. It's a potent fragrance, a lot like another kind of grass we got back in Tyrol. Come to think of it, Ixok never went near anywhere that grass was growing. One man's meat is another's poison. Perhaps the same can be said for aromas. Exactly, and now that we know what Ixok can't stomach, we can use this information to drive it where we want it. Oh, excuse me. Then it would behoove me to share our discovery with Innocent Stork. Given the information and contacts at her disposal, I dare say she'll help us find a way to utilize the fragrance to its maximum potential. Dare say you're right. In the meantime, we'll head on over to Giribania and pick us up some wild grass. Yes, by all means, we must do everything in our power to avert further tragedy. Many of the adventurers gathered here are so terrified of encountering Ixok that they're considering abandoning the profession entirely. Several are yet fledglings. If they had to contend with a foe far beyond their reckoning, they die before gaining enough experience to even be considered adventurers. The thought of their bright futures being snatched away like that is almost more than I can bear. This is the very reason I joined the Twin Adders, to prevent such senseless deaths. Therefore, I humbly request your cooperation in slaying the dread Ixok. No need, I had every intention of putting the bastard in the dirt. To the matter at hand, then, a few moments ago, one of the adventurers mentioned that the wild grass we seek grows abundantly at Pike Falls. If you've collected enough, let us rendezvous at Quarry Mill. I must warn you, though, that Giribania is home to some particularly vicious wildlife. Be on your guard. Woohoo. More wild grass. We're just picking weeds. That ought to do it. As much as I'd love to stick around and study the wildlife, we better get back to Quarry Mill. Long day. You've done well to gather so much wild grass. As promised, I've called upon Innocent Stork to advise us on our next steps. I placed an order with an alchemist acquaintance for custom-made diffuser pouches, which we may employ to spread the aroma over a wide area while prolonging its potency. We will issue these pouches to twin adder units tasked with driving the beast into an isolated location of our choosing. Away from civilians in an ideal spot for the final showdown. That's good thinking. Indeed, once the pouches have been produced, the beast is as good as ours. If I may, there is further request I wish to make. Rather than slaying Ixok outright, would you instead be able to capture it alive? Better to understand its behavior. Such knowledge will prove invaluable should predators of a similar nature trouble us in the future. That's a risk we can't afford to take, ma'am. Those hunters of yours tried baiting it with a carcass laced with sedatives, but Ixok saw right through their plan. Demonstrated a degree of cunning to rival any man's. Even if we did capture it, it's only a matter of time before it escapes and kills again. There's only one way you can deal with a monstrosity like that. You slay it first chance you get. No half measures, no hesitation. Then we are left with no other choice. Pray forgive me for making such an ill-considered suggestion. I shall abandon all thoughts of capturing the beast and instead turn my attention to the procurement of the diffuser pouches. You will hear from me soon. You ought to know by now what we're up against. Why even ask? Innocent Stork can't be trusted. She's got her own angle. I ain't the type to guess at folks' motivations. Wish she'd do us all a favor and put her cards on the table. The rich and powerful are rarely so obliging. Got that right, but since us salt of the earth are speaking our minds, there's a fear in you, but of what I can't tell. Gil for your thoughts, never know, I might be able to help. Well, after talking with those adventurers, I can't help but feel a little scared of Ixok, that's all. Anyway, I should return to Gridania to make my report. You corrupt and working with Innocent Stork. Folks always saying one thing but meaning another, just when I was starting to believe I'd gotten the hang of polite conversation. Ain't no forcing the issue, I know. If Goliath has something to say, he'll say it when he's good and ready. Now we gotta wait on those pouches. Who knows how long that'll be. I'll keep an eye on things here, so I recommend you get ready to face Ixok. Level 85, Vipers on the Hunt, complete. Level 88, into the Viper Pit. Keshqua is keen to confront Ixok. Goliath sent word that the diffuser pouches are ready. He's heading over now. Once he arrives, we can finally put this plan into action. Pouches have been distributed among the twin adders, along with instructions on correct handling. You see, according to the alchemists who made them, the aroma of the wild grass dulls the senses. For the average person, this would do little more than soothe the nerves, but to a creature with heightened sense of smell, the effect would be far more pronounced. As for where we will entrap the Ixok, Innocent Stork has proposed a location in the Dravanian hinterlands that she believes is ideal. The surrounding area is largely uninhabited, and Idleshire, the only settlement nearby, is relatively simple to defend. We have already consulted with the Ish Guardians, and they gave us their blessing to proceed. That's all well and good, but by the look on your face, you're not. I ain't gonna press, but I will suggest that once we get to Dravania, you best hang back and leave the fighting to us. You know full well I'm keeping things from you, yet you still show concern for my well-being. Why? Just my way, I suppose, or the way I was trained as a Viper. It's our job to keep folks safe from creatures that go against the natural order. Doesn't matter who you are or whose side you're on. Politics, feuds, all that drama ain't none of our concern. I'll admit I've got my doubts about you, but you're still someone I need to protect from Ixok. Simple as that. There's something you need to know. Out in the Western Court, this is... Well, as I thought, you've yet to depart from Quarry Mill. What's keeping you? Lieutenant Goliath, whatever is the matter? You look like someone just walked over your grave. Glad to find the two of you in better spirits, though. Seeing as our friend is somewhat under the weather, perhaps it's best that he stays behind with me in Idleshire. No objections here, but Goliath and I were having a heart-to-heart, if you don't mind. I do. We have a schedule to keep, and I must insist our dear Vipers get underway. While you are en route to the Dravanian hinterlands, I would be happy to lend an ear to Goliath and his troubles. You needn't worry yourselves. It's of no import. I wish you both good hunting. Talk about shit timing. For better or for worse, we'll find out what he was holding back soon enough. Anyway, we got a Tural Vidral to slay. Idleshire. Do. South of... I can't remember which quarter is which. Look at that tilting motion. No sign of Ixok, which gives us time to pick a good spot for an ambush. Let me know what you find. While this location offers a commanding view of the area, it does not offer enough space to fight it to your full potential. The cramped conditions offer only a limited field of vision, and combat would doubtless prove difficult. Although the view is obstructed by the wall, you should be able to remain concealed easily. You have surveyed a number of locations, each varying in suitability. Keshko will be eager to hear your report. Found something you ain't gonna believe. You smell that? It's gotta be one of Innocent Stork's diffuser pouches. Somebody must have hidden it nearby. The bag of wild grass stinking up the place, there's no way Ixok was ever gonna show. Elias and Innocent Stork sent us on a wild alpaca chase, so where's our Tural Vidral if it ain't here? The Kurthis Western Highlands. Damned if I know, but Innocent Stork surely does. Ah, so that's what Goliath was trying to tell us, at least until he was cut off. But then he looked, that clue will lead us to Innocent Stork. She's probably still plotting to capture Ixok alive, the stubborn fool. Yeah, teleport. Damn it. Prove his meat. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Turned around. Whee! Flying now. Bank. No sign of our tricksters or Ixok. We best keep searching. There they are. Do-do-do. They got it? Good for them. Well, if it isn't the esteemed Vipers, who with all their supposed skill and intellect asserted that capturing the great Ixok was nigh impossible, or perhaps you were simply afraid. As you can see, I proved equal to the task. All it took was a little ingenuity. I understand Ixok's cunning and cruelty better than anyone. There's no way you got it in that cage without... Wait, where's your bodyguard? You yourself observed how attempting to lure Ixok with obvious bait ended in failure, but a beast is still a beast, a predator that is compelled to hunt. Casualties are inevitable, and a prudent strategy must account for them. An exceptional one, however, would leverage this element to its advantage, as mine did. You ordered him to put sedatives in his pocket and face Ixok alone. It was over before it began, his screams still ring in my ears. You fed Ixok the sedatives and your bodyguard along with them. You're telling me he willingly offered himself up? Enthusiastically even, all to ensure his plague-stricken family received treatment, the duration of which would be determined by his performance. He all but leapt into the beast's maw. As I'm sure Goliath would agree, there's no limit to what we can accomplish when given the appropriate incentive. I go to such despicable lengths to capture Ixok. Finally shown your true colors. Oh please, everyone's getting what they wanted, so let's not quibble over the details. As a gesture of goodwill, I'll even answer your question. rudely asked though it was. Everyone has their own unique proclivities, and I am no exception. I have awoken to the thrill of bringing rare and ferocious beasts under my power. But that only whets my appetite for true pleasure when I unleash my pets upon worthy opponents to enact scenes of glorious carnage. You a Beastmaster? I've met my share of monsters, but none of them compare to you. Monster and a fool that there's a Tyrol Vidral. The moment you open that cage, it's going to rip you to shreds. Indeed it would, if it were so inclined. If Ixalk is as intelligent and bloodthirsty as you say, it will soon learn that I can provide a constant supply of worthy prey. In return, it will accept me as its master. It's awake. Ah! Yeah, she's a Beastmaster. I grow tired of this place. One of my lesser pets should be more than adequate to dispose of you. After all, I am loath to release Ixalk while it remains subdued, and though I may not be watching, I do try to put on a good show regardless. He's about to die. It was much quicker than I thought it would be. Thanks, I owe you. Gods damn it, I can't believe anyone would be stupid enough to try taming a Tyrol Vidral. Never mind Ixalk itself. What really sticks in my craw is that Goliath has been dancing to Innocent Stork's tune, and there I was thinking he needed our help. He must be manipulating him. He seemed afraid of her like before. You're right, there's more to this than meets the eye. Anyway, no point freezing our asses off here. Let's get back to Quarry Mill to think things over. One thing I know for certain is that Ixalk ain't gonna play the obedient pet for long. Innocent Stork's gonna find that out the hard way. I reckon that'll be after she gets the urge to indulge her twisted appetites. I'll do what I can to suss out where she got to before then. Then there's Goliath. The Twin Adders need to know what he's been up to and that he's still alive, for now at least. You guys get back to your training for now. Caged or not, Ixalk's out there, and it's our job ain't done till it's dead. Level 88. Into the Viper Pit. Complete. Level 90. Vengeance of the Viper. Casqua is as tense as a coiled viper. Since the last time we spoke, the Twin Adders have been looking for Goliath, but they ain't found hide nor hair of him. Meanwhile, there have been plenty of Ixalk sightings. Seems Innocent Stork's eager to put her new pet to work. I expect that's why Goliath's commanding officer asked for our help. Let's head to Adder's Nest and hear what he has to say. Do, 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 do. Good to finally meet you both. Goliath spoke highly of you and your contributions to our hunt for Ixoc. Speaking of which, you got information for us, right? Received multiple eyewitness reports of a creature surpassing even the most elite marks. It dispatches its victims swiftly before flying away. Innocent Stork's direction, I'll wager. She's sitting Ixoc loose to kill for her own amusement. Those slain were mostly roaming adventurers, but the circumstances of each attack suggest an escalation. The beast is striking in broad daylight and closer to more populated settlements. The risk of a massacre grows greater by the day. There is another matter I wish to discuss, which may shed some light on the situation. We have received a letter from Goliath. The details are sparse. He wishes to resign from the Twin Adders. The letter also includes a message for the two of you. Do you recall our discussion in Southern Thanolin? Though my aspirations were beyond me, I pray that you succeed in fulfilling your own. I remember Goliath. You wanted to prevent those with bright futures from dying before their time. That's why you joined the Twin Adders. Wait, we had that talk in the Shroud, not Thanolin. And he mentions our aspirations, which is to protect people from rampaging beasts. Don't you see? He's telling us that Ixoc's going to appear in Southern Thanolin. A hidden message, albeit not a particularly well-hidden one. If Innocent Stork read this, she would have surely divined his intent. I can only surmise that she knew and allowed the letter to be sent regardless, but better way to lure you into a confrontation with Ixoc than by taking advantage of Goliath's sincere plea for help. Trap or not, a confrontation suits me fine. If it's a show she wants, then we're happy to oblige. Kick its ass. As for the wares, she doubtless wishes to avoid attracting the attention of the Immortal Flames and the Amalja. The Sagali Desert, like as not, I will send word to Old Dob, but in the meantime, I wish you every success. Duh. Banyan. Another carcass. This was Ixoc's work. Don't expect the trail to be this easy to pick up, but perhaps I should have. All that's left now is to walk straight into the trap. No viper worth their salt ever shied away from danger, am I right? Duty calls. Commence battle for vengeance of the Viper. Level sync is in effect. If you're above the maximum allowed level, will be synced as follows. Level 90, item level 655. Proceed. Such grace, such power, magnificence itself given form, worthy of awe. Alas, these mediocre distractions are a poor canvas for your art. It's over, Innocent Stork. A lot like Mazija. Ozja. On the contrary, the main attraction is just beginning. Elias, what have you done to him? After his childish trick with the coded letter, I decided to let Ixok punish him, an appetizer, if you will. All the money and the privilege in the world, and this is how you choose to use it, killing for the sake of killing? You're no better than a Taral Vidral, a monster that deserves to die. A flattering comparison, though you seem to be forgetting the literal monster that stands before you. Ixok, I brought you fresh prey. Oh, I haven't forgotten about you, a coward through and through, I knew, but when I thought had some pride, guess I was wrong. It's time Ixok is ours. All right. Wrong one. Whooping Frenzy. Yeah, it's just like Dawn from Delubrum. I don't seem to be doing a whole lot of damage though. Oh, is it like gonna be probably a couple of phases? Innocent Stork's made a huge mistake. Yeah. Is this all you're capable of? It's gonna attack her and then I'm gonna have to fight it again. You not satisfied with the prey I have provided? You'll have all that you want and more, but only if you obey. Kill them now, I demand it. This ain't the Ixok, I know, and I reckon Innocent Stork is the reason why. You can smell the wild grass on her, a less potent mixture than the one we doled out before, just enough to keep Ixok at arm's length. But even that's too much for the Vidral's senses, that's why it's addled and can't think straight. Even so, she's made a fool's bet. Ixok only tolerated Innocent Stork and her shenanigans to sate its own bloodlust. Two apex predators can't make nice forever. I'm not done with you yet. Elias, you stubborn worm. What? Yeah. Obviousness is obvious. Now the real fight begins. Maybe now I can concentrate on the fight. Alright, give it everything you've got. Alright. No donut? Surprised by that. There it is. Oh, didn't see that coming. Should have, but I didn't. I'm being careful. What do you want me to do? Yeah, I mean, I figured that was unavoidable. Nice interrupt. Wings accumulating. Spreads its wings, get ready for a huge attack. Okay, yeah, I mean, I got that much. Not letting me target the wings. Okay. Okay, now it is. I was like, it wasn't before. Did the trick. Right. Just die already. Getting bored. Don't give in, Keshwa. There we go. All right. Well. O restless beast, may you find peace in death. As the serpent sheds its skin, relinquish this husk that you may rise again to greet a new dawn. Innocent Stork genuinely believed that she could bend such a creature to her will. That arrogance cost her her life. We don't know if she died, she just fell. She never understood what she was dealing with or afforded it proper respect. She took her superiority for granted, but the power she wielded to flaunt the laws of men was powerless against the natural order. Elia, Zilly, thank you for everything. It's a damn sight harder than I reckoned it'd be, but I finally avenged my brother in arms and fulfilled my duty. I can once again hold my head high. Ixog might be dead, but we've still got a loose end or two to tie up. You haven't told us yet why you let us on the merry chase for innocent Stork. May as well come clean now. Well, when I was a young child, my merchant parents were slain by a wild creature on their travels. I meant what I said at Fallgood when I told you I swore to save others from a similar fate. That's why I joined the Twin Adders. Commendable motivation. And then I met Innocent Stork, who explained with great enthusiasm that she shared my desire to protect others by bringing these beasts to heel. I thought I had found a kindred spirit. But I later realized she'd fed me nothing but lies. She used me to obtain information collected by the Twin Adders, all for the sake of identifying potential additions to our menagerie. I disclosed all manner of sensitive intelligence to her, believing it was in furtherance of her efforts to save lives. By the time I learned of her true intentions, it was too late. I confronted her, told her I was going to inform my superior. She smiled and laughed and said that she would unleash her fiends upon Gridania if I spoke a word, with some of her finest reserves, specifically for my family. I'm guessing it was Innocent Stork's idea to have you join the investigation into Ixog. It was. There's no excuse for what I did. Allowing myself to become her pawn has led to so much needless suffering. Nothing I can say or do will ever be enough to earn your forgiveness. Whatever punishment awaits me, I shall accept it gladly. Well, what do you think? I think you should decide. We better hand him over to the Twin Hatters. Leave it up to you. I don't care. I really don't. If he'd only done me wrong, I'd be willing to look the other way, but his deceptions caused all kinds of trouble for the Twin Hatters. They're the ones who need to stand in judgment. Right. I will request that my superior meets us at Quarry Mill, where I shall give a full account. It's settled then. Meet us there when you're ready. Appreciate you coming to see that justice is served. As a soldier of the Twin Hatters, your actions are inexcusable. Once I have made my report, expulsion will be the least of your worries. There will likely be a trial. Where I come from, we don't take kindly to liars neither. Our word is our bond, and the violation of that trust demands punishment. But I will say this, the lies he told were to protect the people of Gridania. Not only that, the actions he took contributed directly to the defeat and death of Ixok. I won't say the end justifies the means, but it's not nothing. Duly noted, though I trust you understand that this consideration may not change the outcome. Yes, sir, ain't my place to tell you folks how to handle your business. I'm just a simple man who crossed the salt to kill a Vidril. But if Goliath isn't stuck in a cell for the foreseeable future, I got something he can help me with. You see, now that my business here is concluded, it's high time I made my way home. Trouble is, passage back is more than I can presently afford. I'm going to need to put in some work, and I reckon Goliath could help me find clients in need of a Viper's skills. For a simple man who knows better than to tell us how to handle our business, you've struck upon an intriguing solution. Well, I've spent a fair bit of time in the company of silver-tongued someone. Goliath, your conduct cannot easily be forgiven. Even so, it must be acknowledged that you played a vital role in slaying of Ixok. Swear to never again stray from the path of righteousness, and no charges will be brought against you. Moreover, I will accept your voluntary resignation as you did previously request. With this arrangement, you may yet pursue your dream of defending the innocent from nature's most deadly threats in your capacity as Keshwa's assistant. What say you? I shall do as you ask. You have my word. Though I will bear the shame of my misdeeds as long as I live, I shall endeavor to redeem myself through service to the people. You can start by finding me some beasties to slay. It seems like I'll be sticking around Eorzea for a while longer. In the meantime, you're sure to find clients of your own. I reckon this continent's more than big enough for the both of us. Wherever there are folks in need of a Viper, that's where we'll be. Level 90, Vengeance of the Viper, complete. Alright. Achievement unlocked, Victorious Viper. Alright.